Hey guys, so today I'm filming a very exciting video. I'm going to be showing you guys all of the items I picked up from ColourPop's Fall 90s collection. I'll be showing you swatches and comparing these products to other existing ColourPop products. But before I get into the video, I wanted to ask for your all's help. I was nominated for Beauty Guru of the month of November for Star Central magazine, and I need your votes. You can vote once a day until November 27th, and I would really appreciate it if you guys like my channel and you want to support me, that you could please vote for me. I really want to win. So I will have the link for that down below, and now into the video. So ColourPop's fall collection was about throwing it back to the 90s, which I was so excited about. I was born in 1992, so because I wasn't a teenager in the 90s, I wasn't able to rock the grungy fashion and makeup. So the fact that it is trending now is so exciting to me because I'm finally able to. Wearing my plaid shirt today, trying to channel some 90s. If I had one of those chokers, I would wear them. I mean, I know that has come back in style and it's a thing, but I'm not sure how I feel about the chokers yet. So this collection includes 10 eyeshadows, 2 blushes, 6 lippy pencils, and 6 Lippie Stix. I purchased a ton of things. So the eyeshadows have a nice variety of shimmer and matte finishes. Both of the blushes are matte and all of the lip products are matte because matte is where it was at in the 90s, which I think is really exciting, but I do love that ColourPop added in some shimmer shadows as well, so the collection isn't 100% matte. So first I'm going to show you swatches and give you color descriptions of everything, and then I will show you comparisons to other ColourPop products. So first I'm going to start with the eyeshadows. The first swatch I have here is Plaid. It is described as a deep blackened olive and a matte finish. And while ColourPop describes this as a matte finish, it definitely is not. There is some golden reflect in there. I would describe this as more of a satin luxe finish, which is a new finish that they introduced into their back to school eyeshadow set. And just looking at the shadow that had that finish from that collection, I feel like this shadow is more like that. But I actually like this finish more than the mattes because it is more creamy. It actually reminds me of the texture of their highlighters. The second shadow is Central Perk, which is described as a dirty maroon and a matte finish. The third shadow is Party Time, which is described as a dusty mauve gray and a matte finish. The fourth shadow is Mixtape, which is described as a mid-tone cool gray and a pearlized finish. The fifth shadow is Stereo, which is described as a blackened burgundy with copper and pink violet duochrome glitter sprinkled on top of a metallic finish. The last shadow is Boy Band, which is described as an intense red copper and an ultra metallic finish. So on ColourPop's website, it says the finish is ultra metallic, but on the actual shadow, it says it is a pearlized finish. Either way, it is a very metallic, creamy, pigmented shadow. So Boy Band is what I'm wearing on my lids today. It's actually my first time wearing it and I've fallen in love. On the eye and in the swatch, I feel like it looks like a pumpkin spice type of shade and so stunning. I absolutely love this color. It is a must-have for me, and I'm so glad that this shade is named Boy Band because I'm still obsessed with boy bands. We need more. I hope Backstreet Boys will be coming together with Spice Girls and having a tour. I'd be all over that. So I wanted to give you the color descriptions of the 4 shadows I did not purchase. The first shade is Supermodel, which is described as a soft golden ivory and a pearlized finish. The second shadow is I Spy, which is described as a soft yellow peach and a matte finish. Girl Power is described as a bright red orange and a matte pressed pigment finish. So ColourPop does not sell their pressed pigments specifically as eyeshadows because some people can have a sensitivity to the ingredients in pressed pigments. So if you are going to use it on your eye, it could stain your lids. You could have a reaction. I've never had any issue, but if you know that you're sensitive to certain dyes or certain colors in makeup, then I would not recommend you pick up that shadow. I wish that the name Girl Power went along with a different colored shadow because I love the Spice Girls so much. I thought about buying this shadow just for the name, but I knew I'd never wear an orange eyeshadow. And the last shadow I did not purchase is called Straight Trippin. It is described as a deep black with a slight hint of red violet hue in a matte finish. So now moving on to the blushes, I did buy both of the shades that were available in this collection, and they both have a matte finish, which is very true of the 90s. The first shade I have is Cruel Intentions, which is described as a warm rose in a matte finish. The second shade is Never Been Kissed, which is described as a dusty coral in a matte finish. And then ColourPop released 6 matching Lippie pencils and Lippie Stix, all in a matte finish, again staying very true to the true 90s trends. The first shade is Oh Snap, which is described as a pale, dirty, nude pink. And that is the color that I'm wearing on my lips today, and I feel like that is a pretty good description. It is a nude pink, but it has some gray tones to it. And honestly, I think that this color is beautiful, but I wish that it was more like the color of the plastic than it was the actual shade of the lipstick. ColourPop usually does a really good job of exactly matching up the cap and the lipstick, but not so much with this one. But this is still a really beautiful color that complements a lot of these shades. The second shade is Contempo, which is described as a mid-tone dusty rose. The last shade is Grunge, which is described as a cool tone plum brown. So on my skin tone, this color definitely pulls more of a chestnut brown. So now I'm going to give you color descriptions of the 3 Lippie Stix that I did not purchase. The first shade is Poison, which is described as a deep brown red. The second shade is Dazed, which is described as a berry red. The third shade is Nevermind, which is described as a deep black and violet. So now I'm going to show you color comparisons to other ColourPop shadows I have in my collection. So for the first shade, Plaid, I do not have anything similar in my collection, but I know in ColourPop's fall collection from 2014, they released a shade called Hammered. Hammered, I think, will be comparable to Plaid, except that is much more of a golden olive. This one is going to pull a little bit darker than Hammered. I don't have them to compare them side by side for you guys. I think that they would be different enough to have both. I believe that this one, like I said, is darker and that the other shade is more golden. So my next comparison is between Central Perk and Hustle. As you can see, Central Perk is a little bit deeper. It has some more red tones to it, while Hustle has some more purple berry tones. This one is a little bit more deep, and this one is a little bit brighter and richer. So here is a swatch of Central Perk, and here is a shade of Hustle. They are different, but I don't think that you need both. I would actually recommend Hustle over Central Perk. I found Central Perk to be a bit patchy and uneven when applying it, but Hustle was a lot more smooth. Again, this one has some more brown red tones to it, and this one has some more red purple tones. So my next comparison is Party Time and Bill. As you can see, these colors are very different, but this was the closest thing I had in my collection. Bill has a lot more pink tones to it, while Party Time looks more gray. So here are the swatches. This is Party Time and this is Bill. Definitely different enough to have both of them. So next I have Mixtape, and I have 2 shadows I want to compare it to. These shadows are very different, but I wanted to show you exactly how different they were. So the other shades I have would be I Heart This and Liberty. So here's a swatch of Mixtape. This is I Heart This, and this is a Liberty. As you can see, very different. Liberty is a straight up silver. I Heart This is champagne, and Mixtape is a lot more taupey. Next we have Stereo, and I have 2 comparisons for that. This is the shade Electra that came out in the Megan Nate quad, and this is the shade Drift that became part of their permanent collection after first being released in last year's holiday collection. So as you can see, these are all similar but a little bit different. This one has a much deeper base to it. This one's more purple and this one's more red. Here are the swatches. This is Stereo, this is Electra, and this is Drift. I honestly prefer Electra and Drift over Stereo. I think that the really deep base makes this color look a little bit dull and not as exciting. Even though it does have those really fun glitters, I would much prefer Electra and Drift, which again, more purple, more red. So lastly, we have Boy Band, and I have two color comparisons for that. I have Game Face from last year's fall collection and Sequin. So as you can see, very different. Game Face is a lot more copper, Sequin is a lot more rose gold, and the Boy Band shade is definitely has copper, it definitely has orangey tones, but it also has a spice color to it as well. It's not as intense orange, bright copper as Game Face. So in the swatches, you can definitely see the difference. This is Boy Band, this is Game Face, and this is Sequin. So now moving on to blush comparisons, I actually do not have any shades that are even remotely similar to these two fall blushes, which I love. These are really great dusty colors, but they aren't natural. They have some really beautiful color to them. So while I love these shades, I think they're very beautiful and unique, I'm not sure if I would have put these colors in this 90s fall collection because I'm not sure how well they go with the shadows. I'm wearing Cruel Intentions on my cheeks today, and I have Boy Band on my lids. It is a beautiful dusty rose color, and this one is a dusty coral, but it still is coral. I don't know if I would have picked either of these blushes for a fall collection to go with those fall shadows, but I still love them as individual blushes. I think they are amazing, but if I was to choose a blush from ColourPop's permanent range that I think would fit perfectly with those shadows, it would be Between the Sheets. This is a beautiful neutral blush with a peachy undertone. I have it swatched right here if you can see, and I think this blush would complement every single shadow without overtaking the look. So if you're looking for a blush to pair with those shadows, I would definitely recommend Between the Sheets. So lastly, for the lipstick comparisons, so I have a couple different ones that I wanted to show you how they compare to Oh Snap. None which I would even say are really close. I think that you can justify all of these, but I want to show you how they compare. Here is the swatch of Oh Snap. And I wanted to compare that to Tootsie, which came out in their spring collection. This shade is a bit more gray. So right here is the swatch of Tootsie. As you can see, it is deeper and more gray tone, less pink. The other shade I have to compare Oh Snap to is Bound, which is a glossy light pink. So right here is Bound, and it is definitely more pink than Oh Snap, but you can definitely justify both of these. And my last comparison is the Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Trap, which again is more gray. This is more of a dupe for Tootsie than it is Oh Snap. So next for Contempo, I have two comparison swatches. The first shade I have is Bound, which is a little bit of a lighter pink, but it does still have that same dusty mauve undertone. So here is Bound in comparison to Contempo. And then I also wanted to compare it to the Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Clueless. Here's a swatch of Clueless and here's Contempo. As you can see, it is a little bit darker, but I think if you love Clueless, you'll love Contempo. If you love Contempo, you'll love Clueless. And for the last lipstick, we have Grunge. So I don't personally own any ColourPop lip products that I think would be a dupe for this, but I do think that their Lippie Stix in Pitch and their Ultra Matte Lip in Limbo would be very similar to this. I think that both Limbo and Pitch are going to be a deeper brown, whereas this one is more of a chestnut brown. And it really does depend on your skin tone, how this will look on you. On some people, this tends to pull a little bit more terracotta. So I think it would be similar to those other browns, but definitely not the same. So that was everything. Those are all of the products that I picked up from the ColourPop fall collection. Overall, I was very impressed with all the different shades that they had to choose from in this collection. I love that they went with matte finishes on the blush and lips, but for the eyes, they had matte and shimmer finishes. I was very impressed with all of that. I think the pigmentation of all of these products was really impressive. The only color I had some trouble with was the Central Perk shadow. That one was a bit more patchy. I had a little bit of patchiness with Party Time as well, but other than that, they were all really amazing. So I wanted to show you guys my must-haves from this collection. I do love everything. There's not one product I regret purchasing, but my absolute favorite must-haves would be for shadows, Boy Band. I'm wearing it on my lids today, like I said, the perfect like pumpkin spice color. absolutely love it, and the name Boy Band makes it even better. And the second shadow that is a must-have for me is the shade Plaid. This is an amazing color and a really incredible formula that's very easy to work with. And while I didn't think that these blushes complemented the shadows perfectly, I still love these blushes. The formula and the colors are everything to me. I love rose and coral, but the fact that they are dusty makes them even better. I do still love them for fall, but not really with those shadows. But the color, the formula, everything, these are definitely still must-haves for me from this collection. And my last two must-haves would be the Lippie Stix in Contempo and Grunge. Contempo is a shade that I knew I would love and wear a ton. Grunge is a shade that surprised me. I really fell in love with this. It is a stunning color, so I think that everyone needs to buy both of these shades. I'm going to be using them so much. So guys, that was my ColourPop fall collection video. I hope that you all enjoy this. I would love to know in a comment down below what you picked up from this collection and if I need to buy any more of the items that I missed out on. Thank you all so much for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.